What are your views on marriage? Amy?
It's not for me.
Okay. You don't want to get married ever?
No.
Wow, friend, I did not know that.
I don't.
Why?
I just want to just be with a person and just date and just be faithful with them. I don't want to do the whole, all of that. I'm good. I just don't want to do it.
We'll talk about that deeper later.
I
Cuddy?
wasn't expecting that.
I would love a wedding without the paperwork.
What?
No, I mean, I believe in marriage. I do. But I don't need it. I don't need it. I see so many people like be miserable based on trying to attain that, that I just don't want that to be like an ultimate goal of mine, and then feel like I'm missing out on everything in between just because I'm trying to like lock somebody in or like be validated by that specific title. So like I really care about the quality of relationships more than the title. So
Okay.
I really don't care.
That's good.
What you got to say?
I've never heard this from a group of women before in my entire life. This is wild to me.
Okay, let's
Times
let's
like
see.
me, right?
Let's see. I was going. We gonna get out. Let's see what the last one has to say so far. Crystal, what about you? What do you think of marriage?
I want to get married.
Okay, you want to be a wife?
I want to be a wife. I want to get married. I mean, what was I that kid that grew up dreaming about their wedding? No, not necessarily. You know, I've been through a lot, but it still never shut off the fact that that was something that I wanted.
Okay.
It's always been a goal for me, but if it don't happen, it won't make or break me. But I do want to be married. You know, I want. People like to say marriage is a business with the paperwork and, you know, all of that and how it goes, licenses, y'all become one, all of that. That's a part of being one, and I believe that's why it is that way. But for me, it's this like, I don't know, marriage is that. It's a title. It's a title for me, you know, not something that I just like, oh, I went through hell to get here.
Yeah.
Because I don't want that.
Yeah.
If you got to do me bad before you do me good, I don't want to marry you.
Right.
I feel like I want to marry that person that come into my life that's a breath of fresh air. Everything is positive. Not to say things gonna be perfect, but you know, with the right person, you're gonna work through it, and things won't be that terrible. Those bad times won't be, oh, he cheated on me, oh, he got somebody pregnant. Them is not situations or people that you want to be with.
Yeah.
I want to be with somebody where, like we said previously, I have to learn how to just tone my voice down, you know, when I'm talking to you. Them the type of arguments that we have, and more so not the big stuff that's just breaking your soul apart and tearing you up. I don't want that. I want love and happiness with the right person.
I can respect that. I can understand that.
This
I
is crazy.
asked everyone that's not married first.
Go to
Intentionally.
Anton first.
Intentionally.
Go
No.
to Anton
I'm not
first.
asking Anton this question because now I'm going to introduce the topic. Marriage is a business. True or false? Anton.
True. And as a matter of fact, marriage is best for poor people.
Okay. And what?
It's because marriage is designed for people that don't have anything, for them to be able to get ahead, because you can pull 10 times your weight with two people versus pulling double your weight just by yourself. And so that's where, you know, the understanding of it, and I'm not even gonna get into the spiritual aspect of it, but the understanding of it from a business perspective, by default, women look at it from a business perspective because they want the best available option. That's what makes them hypergamous, right? They want a guy that meet expectations, and that's why they're trained not to date based off of potential, but to date based off of where a guy already is.
Security.
Conversely, which women don't understand, is that it's no incentive for a guy that's already there to marry somebody, because again, it's based off of the idea of building with you.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? So if I don't need kids, if I'm already have my children, if I'm already successful, I don't really need to help me. You know what I'm saying? And we even changed the words to say partner. That's not the concept of what marriage is, right? That's not how a business works. We remix every single thing to mean something completely different. And then we apply it differently when it comes to relationships, when in every other aspect of our life, whether we go on to work, it's always gonna be somebody ahead of you.
Okay.
It's always gonna be a CEO, a CFO, you know what I'm saying? A CTO, Chief Technology Officer. It's always a hierarchy. And then the buck got to stop somewhere else. Because if they come to us and they say, well, what happened to y'all crib? They're not gonna come to you. They're coming to me.
They're gonna come to you. You're absolutely
You
right.
see what I'm saying? But you want a partnership because you want to share in being able to say what you want to say and do what you want to do. But at the same time, you yearn for leadership, and that's why they call me a groom. And so I don't think that most people understand what marriage is, and that's why we remixing it and changing it to mean something completely different. which is also inspiring people to say what they do and don't want based off of their experiences. It's a whole nother concept. But this is weird, again, to hear women say that they don't want it or that they indifferent about it, because that's your natural yearning is to seek leadership or guidance or covering.
Your natural yearning could be that, but what happens when you've seen so many situations go left? For example, a lot of your views on marriage is positive because you told us yesterday that you had 9 people that's
on my mother's side,
on your mom's side alone,
and
that's
my father's
married.
side I've never seen divorce.
Cool. So you
That's
are
good.
raised around marriage, so that's normal to you. For some people that grew up in toxic environments or in single parent households or anything like that, they might not have seen a healthy situation, a healthy marriage, or even understand how that could even work.
Correct.
Could you see how that throw them off sometimes?
100%. But then the kids pay for the sins of their parents.
Yikes.
And so ultimately, what you see people experience is just a reflection of the people that came before them.
Yeah.
So we need to stop holding each other accountable and go to your mother and your father and ask them why they fucked up.
A lot of mothers and fathers not ready to have that conversation.
So
And be in denial, because it be times when you bring up old shit to your parents and they be like, it didn't happen like that. That never happened.
Yeah.
That never happened.
I want to say too, so you made a point that stood out to me, that women naturally yearn for leadership and everything, but can you only get that by marrying a man? Could you be with somebody and he can lead you and y'all be together forever until one of y'all crossed over and he doesn't have to be your husband?
It has to be your husband.
It has to be your
Yeah,
husband.
because he ain't finna cut the buck unless he know for a fact, because just like it means a lot to most women, it means a lot to men too, because that man gotta go shopping for that ring. He gotta get down on his knee. He gotta already, go through the motions of, is this the right decision or not? Because marriage is hard for a man to actually commit, because you wanna make sure you're doing it right. Most people see how men getting played, especially if you know for a fact you got potential. You don't wanna be played, you know what I'm saying? Or even waste that time, or even be on the papers where you try to take care of a woman that you're not with. So you pretty much gonna,
I'll do you one better.
There.
Would you go and work for somebody without an actual agreement? And would you actually say that you work for this job without actually getting some real paperwork and benefits and all of the stuff that go along with it?
Come on.
I mean,
That's a good question, but go ahead. I'm sorry.
The thing with marriage for me is that everybody speaks about marriage in this idealistic way, like the best of its potential. I have rarely seen that, right? But not only in my family, I do couples counseling. I do, advice. Advice calls with people who've been divorced and married 3 times, 4 times. Like, a lot of people get married for the wrong reason, So it's like, when I think of marriage, it's not that I don't think about it in a good light, but it's just that I just don't know that everybody really observes it in the manner in which, people would think of it in its best.
It's a difference between being married and being successfully married. And that's the thing that people don't understand. They seek the title, but they don't seek the understanding.
Right.